Greetings and salutation, chat. We are here at Orly. We doing this. Let's jump on into this. It is time for another E3 showcase. I think we might be getting a YouTube countdown time all here in a second, because it's like a YouTube thing. But nonetheless, we are back. Also, did Sam unplug my headphones? She did. She unplugged it. Hang on. We have another E3 event today. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff. We got, as I try to fix my headset, we got accessibility showcase. Oh, there it is. I found it. I couldn't find a hole for my my audio though for a second. But we got accessibility showcase happening now. We have, of course, later the day. We got the Summer Game Fest at 4. Day of the day after that, we got I.O. showcase at 8 p.m. And also this is getting very loud. Let me see if I can fix that. So let's do it. Let's jump into some accessibility in-game showcase here, and also maybe find out what colorblind I am, because I'm colorblind, but I don't know which one, because I just recently found out there are multiple colorblind types. Either way.
Hello everyone, I'm Laura Kate Dale, better known online as Laura K Buzz, and I'm here to welcome you to the Accessibility Summer Showcase 2025. I'm a white woman with bright blue hair, shaved short on one side. I'm wearing glasses and a Pac-Man t-shirt. I know you're here for the video game trailers, so I'll try to keep my introduction brief. Over the next 45 minutes or so, you're going to see a bunch of trailers for upcoming video games.
Let's set our timeline.
Some of them are being made by disabled game developers, and all of them are being designed to be accessible to as wide a range of disabled players as possible. We can't promise that every video game in the showcase will be playable by every person tuning in, but our aim is to make sure that if a game seems exciting, you know upfront whether or not you're going to be able to play it.
Yeah, was it last year?
Our hope is that for most of you tuning in, there will be at least a handful of games shown in the showcase that will have the correct mix of accessibility settings and features that you need to be able to play the game upon release. If you want to see most of today's games in one place, organised by accessibility support type, you can check out our Steam event page by going to bit.ly,
which we were doing this is done, so we can actually like.
There you'll find demos for each game, as well as being able to wishlist any that catch your eye. This year's showcase is sponsored by Many Cat Studios, an innovative game development studio creating new solutions to barriers in gaming through recruitment or engaging with video games. The Accessibility Summer Showcase is available with American Sign Language, British Sign Language, and audio-described versions every year, and Many Cat Studios' support this summer was vital in helping us to produce these additional versions of the event. Well, that's enough from me. Let's jump into the game trailers.
Welcome to Maconn 2, a first-person puzzle shooter where color is the key to solving intricate challenges.
Oh god,
like Portal 2, but instead of portals you control droids. Mechanical assistants that are drawn to walls of the same color.
Portal.
Need to guide a droid? Just paint the walls. Mix colors to open new paths, solve puzzles, and outsmart the game's many clear obstacles.
Oh!
But that's just the beginning.
So,
because Maconn 2 is all about color, we knew some players might face difficulties. Those with color blindness or vision impairments could struggle to differentiate between key elements of the game. That's why we created the colorblind mode, a revolutionary accessibility feature designed to make Maconn 2 playable for as many players as possible. In colorblind mode, colors are represented by unique symbols. Blue is marked with a circle, red a vertical line, yellow a triangle. Every color-coded object in the game is assigned a clear, intuitive symbol. And with symbol tracking, players can easily follow color interactions in real time, making puzzles more accessible than ever before.
Okay, that's kind of neat.
And what about mixed colors? We've
got
that covered. Just like in traditional color theory, combining blue and red creates purple. In colorblind mode, this means the blue circle and red line merge into a new recognizable symbol, a circle with a stripe. This system ensures that colorblind players can experience every puzzle, every challenge, and every moment of Maconn 2 without compromise.
This actually looks like a really neat puzzle game. Also time for me to get my my
Troymaconn 2,
pink, purple, and blue confused.
Puzzler with colors, also accessible for people with color blindness.
Yeah, that gave me a lot of like power paint
Spray
vibe.
Paint Simulator is a relaxing and satisfying game that allows you to express your creativity as you take items from drab to fab. You'll start your own spray painting business, meet with some of Spatterville's most eccentric clients, and fulfill their requests. You'll manage your equipment and supplies, start each task by prepping your space, and then paint to perfection.
Oh god, see, I'm
After
gonna lose on
completing
mine
jobs,
here.
you can unlock free spray mode, allowing you to paint everything you can reach to your heart's content, alone or with a friend.
It's just that video, but without the Roller Boy
The team at
chant.
North Star Video Games,
And I get
in
playing
collaboration
games
with
as well.
Whitethorn Games, has worked hard to make sure
Money?
that their game can be played by as many people as possible, and has implemented a number of features to increase accessibility. In Spray Paint Simulator, complete jobs at your own pace. There are no time penalties, and you can leave a job at any point and pick up right where you left off the next time you play. You also have the option of skipping the preparation phase so you can jump right into painting. Use the task highlight feature to show areas you need to mask or paint. You can edit the duration of the highlight so it stays visible longer, and you can change the highlight color so it will stand out no matter what color you're painting with.
Okay, that's neat.
There are a variety of options to fine-tune how you play, making sure that your spray tool is perfectly suited to your preferences.
Show us.
Hi, Joe. Good morning.
Inputs,
Well,
adjust
you
the
guys
size
aren't
of
coming
controller
up
dead
chat
zones,
tonight.
and separately
something.
adjust the sensitivity
You don't
of
wanna
camera
be like
movements
this.
while walking and spraying.
This is disgusting. This is awful in every way.
You can
If I
also
could
use
kill it,
aim mode
I
to keep
would.
the camera still
But I
while you move
legally
the spray tool.
Goddamn. Oh, dude,
Allowing
that
you to
honestly
paint
be neat,
details with
especially when you're doing your custom art. How you
For
doing that
better
morning,
visual
Joe? Welcome back to
accessibility,
Zombie
You can
E3.
customize the amount of camera smoothing,
It's accessibility
increase
time
reticle
before the Game
size,
Awards. Oh, not Game Awards. The
and
Jeff
set the field of
Keighley
view between
Summer Game
40
Fest
and
later.
90 degrees.
We got
There are
Painting
also
Simulator
separate
right
audio
now.
channels for ambient sound effects, spraying sound effects,
I need to show that to Sam and see if that will get all brain
And music.
all tingly. Because Sam is getting into a lot of the survival.
as well as a choice of stereo or mono audio.
I'm thinking of doing it too early. I just woke up,
As
chat.
always, you can get the full
But-
details about the accessibility
but Sam is
features
getting into the
available
simulation
in this
games.
and any of our titles by visiting whitethorngames.com and clicking on the accessibility section. We hope you'll enjoy playing Spray Paint Simulator, available now on Steam,
Oh, okay.
Xbox Series X, Xbox Series
Game
S,
Pass, nice.
Xbox One, Xbox Game Pass, and PlayStation 5 and 4.
Is this a blind
And
drop
will
or
be
did
available
it
on
come out a little
Nintendo
bit ago?
Switch on June 19th.
Dude, okay.
We here at Accessibility
I need to show
recognise
Sam
that
that,
the needs
especially
of
since
blind
it's on Game
gamers are
Pass.
often overlooked by the games industry at large.
Now the question, how
With
long to
relatively
peanut,
few
Joe?
game developers and
That's the
publishers
question, yo.
tackling making their games accessible for partially sighted or sightless blind players. So, every year we make an effort to find new, interesting and creative games to showcase that are aiming to be playable by a wide range of blind gamers, ideally without requiring sighted assistance. This year, as part of our push to showcase more blind accessible games, we paid attention to the Games for Blind Gamers Game Jam, an event in its 4th year trying to encourage creative game design exploration
Man.
focused on blind player accessibility.
That would be
That
very
said,
audio
I'm
driven,
not blind
wouldn't it?
myself, so I'm going to hand
maybe
this over
like
to someone who was
vibration.
involved in this year's event, so they can tell you about the games that won and some interesting projects that you might want to keep an eye on.
Hello there.
I'm curious.
This is
Yeah, I'm
Piotr.
curious about
I was
those.
one of the judges for the Games for Blind Gamers 4 Jam. Being a part of this event, both as a judge and also just a gamer participating and trying out all the games, was honestly really amazing. Because the Game Jam itself is not new. We've had a couple before, but I think this year was really
said 4 years
unique in
wide.
terms of quality and the kinds of games we had before. Because what often people gravitate toward when they think of a game accessible to blind gamers is usually really simple concepts, like a simple maze where you're trying to find your way out, or like a Simon type game where you have to repeat sounds based on by
yeah.
pressing buttons, for example. Well,
Yeah, the
this
sound
year
thing
we
with
got
my
a
mind
lot
went.
of unique games that I think set the bar much higher and showed that blind people can play much more complex games even. And the winner that we picked was one of just many amazing examples. Actually, picking a winner this year was incredibly difficult. And the game that ended up ultimately winning, called Unseen Awakening, was really cool because it kind of subverted the blind protagonist trope, which is also something that was really popular, where some blind person saves the day by swinging a sword around, for example. Well, in this game, you are a blind person saving the world, but you're not the main hero. You're just part of a group of heroes, and actually, you're not the one attacking. You're doing the healing for the party, and also occasionally stunning the enemies or keeping them at bay. And that game was amazing, both in terms of the voice acting, the music, the sound effects, and the idea, which even though was kind of simple, just was, I think, just really interesting. And that's really scratching the surface. We had a very hard time picking our winner.
Perfect enemy to test your abilities. Keep using your spells on me, though. Canetto! Press space to start the battle. My sword has been feeling a little parched. Canetto! Now my blade will blur in the wind. Canetto! Leonardo! My blade will blur in the wind.
Yes, this is using 3D audio. What they're
we
doing.
Had some other really amazing games. We had a trading simulator where you're on a boat that where you can also do tricks and ride the waves while you're moving from port to port with some complex navigation added in. We had a very fun, cozy game called Barista, where you're running a coffee shop and you need to serve customers some different beverages. And the customers are just very entertaining, and the game itself has a very cozy and chill vibe with some amazing voice acting.
Gotta get a cozy counter chat.
Intuitive much? Try making a single shot espresso. Gotcha! You're not holding a cup. Works every time.
One double espresso in a small cup and one long espresso in a medium cup.
And then we had even more complex games, like, for example, Necromancer Nonsense, which is a full-on RTS. And these kinds of games show that blind people can play even much more involved games, assuming that you have, text-to-speech and maybe some additional keyboard shortcuts, so you can, for example, look around a map in an RTS and see what's going on, and some additional audio cues. But even the simpler ideas that we had were done in a really interesting way. We also had games that were not only accessible to blind gamers, but also people with other disabilities. For example, we had a zombie survival game controlled with just one button that also had amazing audio.
We got our cozy counter
We had some more traditional maze games as well. But it really just showed how creative you can get, and some of the games you can have that are both blind accessible, but also really fun. Something else that came out of this jam is an amazing community, both of developers who have taken their knowledge and took it to their future projects, gaming or otherwise. An amazing community of gamers and developers, as well as some really helpful resources that people have come up with on the way. So if you are a developer thinking of making your game blind friendly, it can be done, and there are a lot of us who are very hungry for more games, even if they're more complex ones. We definitely need more very complex games in our community, and I think this jam really also showed that it can be done. All of the jam developers have also come up with some really awesome resources. There's a wiki and a Discord community with some very awesome people on it. And if you would like to try making a blind-friendly game, then please join any future jams, because there will be more. We are planning more events like this. And even outside of that, if you want to add some blindness accessibility features to your game, please do. There are many people out there who will be willing to test the game for you, provide feedback, and obviously when the game actually comes out, play and enjoy it. And of course, if you want to see how it can be done and also have a lot of fun along the way, please do check out all the entries that were submitted this year. Not just the ones that won, but also every other game that was out that was submitted, because they were really accessible, really well made, and of course, I think the most important, really fun.
Thank you so much to everyone who brought this year's Games for Blind Gamers Game Jam to my attention. It has been home to so many truly fantastic games that I highly recommend people check out. You can find the Game Jam and try out all of the entries at bit.ly/blindgamers. The RPG about casting healing magic was The Unseen Awakening. The trading simulator set on a lake was
also,
called
from a dev point of view, there's like an interesting game jam just to think inside that box.
And the real-time strategy game was called Necromancer Nonsense. Please explore the full list of submissions. We only had limited time today to highlight a few favourites, but there are so many great submissions this year worth playing.
Hi everyone, Wobbly Gamer here, accessibility advocate and junior accessibility specialist at Minicat Studios. When Laura came to me and asked me to tell you all why accessibility is important, the first thing that came to mind for me was a story from an event I was at in 2023. I was volunteering on a stand put together by Adapt IT. It was an accessible gaming stand with a number of accessible gaming setups, and we were allowing people to come and experience accessibility firsthand, whether disabled, abled, or a gamer. And we had this young family come to the stand.
Gotta do 3 separations now.
Was 6-7 years old, had quite bad cerebral palsy, was currently in a walker, and she was Paw Patrol mad. All she wanted to do was play Paw Patrol, and she couldn't. So we got her set up on the accessible kit from Xbox, got her set up on that, and
I'm gonna say they're going to be controllable like it is and that.
Her mum started crying, her dad started crying, because her excitement was just so unreal, which led to me and Simon from Adapt IT both crying. And for me, that really hammered home why accessibility is important, because we don't do it for us, we do it for the enjoyment of others. And for me, you can't recreate that. It was a young girl that was that excited to be playing a game. She couldn't handle her emotions and she burst into tears. And I think for me, that's what it's all about. It's about making a difference.
Hi, I'm Darzington of the two-person indie studio Darzal Games, and I'll be showcasing the accessibility features for the 2 games we've released so far. I have chronic hand pain and limited manual dexterity, and so we design our games to accommodate people with similar issues. As a gamer, I'm limited in what kinds of games I can play, so we're making more games for people like me.
Oh god,
What that means is, our games don't have any time pressure. They can be played with a mouse or keyboard or a controller. Players never have to hold down a button or do button combos.
Good.
Control remapping is supported through Steam, and we make official configurations for one-handed play. In our first game, Quest Giver, you play as an NPC giving out quests to heroes, but your manager is looking for any excuse to fire you, and the local heroes have little patience for a mere NPC. It's sort of a management visual novel. In each scenario, you choose appropriate quests for the heroes in your roster to help them to level up, as well as navigate dialogue choices to try to get one of the good endings. Quest Giver is a text-heavy game, so for ease of reading we've included 2 font options, a retro pixel font or an easier-to-read sans serif curvy font, and also the ability to show dialogue text instantly instead of spooling it out and thus reducing motion. This puts the emphasis on the game's story rather than the mechanics, so you can focus on getting fired or assassinated, destroying the entire world, falling in love, joining a cult, starting a mutiny, getting seduced by a demon, and more. Our second game is Six-Sided Stories.
Okay, that could be kind of interesting.
Lo-fi beats and cute animals. Six-Sided Stories is like a jigsaw puzzle, but instead of placing each piece, you flip and color them correctly. Each puzzle image leads into the next one, following the adventures of a calico cat who meets new friends. As you move forward in the story, the puzzles get trickier, with more pieces and finer details. In terms of accessibility, in Six-Sided Stories, the relevant features are baked into the game design itself. Since it's like a jigsaw puzzle, you can play at the pace you want and there's no fail state. There's no text at all in the game, greatly increasing accessibility.
Good.
Color is an important aspect of the game, and so the palette and puzzle pieces were made with this in mind to accommodate colorblind players. And finally, there are 2 hint systems.
Colorblind,
you can
like,
view the
out
full
the gate?
puzzle image at any time,
And
like
not
looking
like a
at the top
separate
of the
option?
box, and an incorrect piece will occasionally wiggle to catch your attention. Six-Sided Stories is designed to be accommodating to players who just want to relax and work through some cute puzzles. I mentioned earlier that I have chronic hand pain and limited manual dexterity, and this affects me as a game developer and as a player.
I don't remember.
So I've learned to do all of my coding by voice using a piece of software called Talon Voice. Here's a quick demonstration. If block, camel should show menu, go down, declaration table. It took me months, if not years, to get good at programming like this, and I haven't really found a way to make art hands-free, but I can't let these challenges stop me from making the games of my dreams. Our studio's goal is to make our games playable by anyone who wants to play them, so we're doing our best to make our games accessible, as well as making sure that they run on low-spec computers. We are just 2 novice developers, so we're always open to feedback about how to make our games more accessible. Please get in touch if you have any suggestions. And if you like the look of Questgiver or Six Sided Stories, they're both available on Steam now. Thank you!
Soulblaze is a creature-collecting roguelite for PC, Mac and Linux, in which you capture and train animals to challenge and defeat the boss of each region. Combat evolves around rolling and spending dice to activate your moves, called tricks. Different effects can make your moves even stronger, such as rolling a double or matching the colors, allowing for building around certain strategies by matching trick effects and dice. Soulblaze features a selection of accessibility settings, which I'm constantly improving and adding to, such as the text-to-speech mode, which features screen reader support for native OS text-to-speech systems and NVDA. During a battle, all relevant information is read out to you.
So if Pokemon, if it would die, huh?
Kalbu, wild enemy, Diffdagwa, available tricks. 2. Press C to hear all controls. Press enter to begin battle. New turn, rolling dice. Rolled 4, 2, 6 EXP. Diffdagwa will use snap. Selected 4.
Oh!
But if you want to know more, you can
so you roll the
use
die
the
and whatever the
button
number
to
is
get
of what
details.
ability you use, huh?
Inspect mode on. Snap. Rarity. Decent. Critical
What?
chance. 6%. Damage. 2. Cost. 3. Precise. If you pay this skill exact, it gains bonus potency equal to its cost.
By pressing left or right, you can get immediate details over your Anemon or the opponent, including visual descriptions.
Diffdagwa, a mix between a frog and a newt. It has a blue body with green spots and a white belly. 2 sets of external gills decorate its cheeks. It has
Dude, that is
lavender
actually
eyes
really
and
good
is looking
effective
gentle.
for blinding, like describing what you're fighting.
You can play the game with a mouse, keyboard, or gamepad, and even touch if you're playing on the Steam Deck. And you can remap all controls in the settings. For players with color vision deficiency, I have made sure to pair all color information with icons. Additionally, you can fully
that is becoming
customize
more of a
colors
thing,
of
isn't it?
UI categories, such as
I'll do that
Anemon
also.
elements, rarities,
But
or positive and
like the
negative
symbol net,
effects.
I wonder if it's like,
Other UI features are enabling
you know,
the
if they're
open
like
dyslexic
symbols
font
that are trying to
and
become like
scaling
a
UI
standard,
elements
like that
or
last
the
game we
text
saw
size.
that had them.
With the difficulty customizations, you can select how many dice the enemy has, how much damage you receive or deal, including invincibility.
I'm all
that
way
you
for
defeat
any
enemies
game
with
that
one
have like
hit,
customized
or
or
that
pull
capture rate is
difficult.
always 100%. If Soulblaze has piqued your interest, give the demo a try and wishlist the game.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, that's not a like
Hi,
bad idea to do a
everyone.
Pokemon
Laura
game with
here
like
again.
D&D dice.
This next game is a title that I think is tackling a deeply important topic, but one that's not often covered in video games, and is being approached from a more hopeful perspective than you might expect given its initial pitch. The game touches on difficult themes, in this case, life after childhood sexual abuse. I believe this game has incredible potential and is really worth showcasing, but I wanted to give people a moment of heads up as to not be caught off guard by the topic. I hope you check out the trailer. I do think this game is doing something incredibly special and important.
Wednesdays is a hope-filled narrative game about growing up after child sexual abuse. It is meant to be played by everyone, gamer or not. The game alternates between 2 phases: the Park, which is a simplistic theme park management game, and the Memories, which play like a visual novel or an interactive comic. Both can be played with a mouse, a keyboard, an Xbox controller, or any combination of those. Wednesday's first launch will always be in windowed mode to allow the use of various accessibility tools. The settings are accessible from the start and at any time.
That's honestly
during the
not a
game.
bad reason to be in window.
Wednesdays being a narrative game, a lot of care has been put into the accessibility of text. Players can advance in the story manually by clicking or pressing a button, or they can choose to have the text scrolling automatically with 3 different speeds available. The Park and the Memories use different fonts, but each of them can be replaced by a highly legible alternative font. 5
I
font
do like that
sizes
font.
are
I love my
from very
chunky
small
font.
to very big. If you skip a line by mistake or want to refresh your memory, All the previously played dialogues are available in the diary. The text is always highly contrasted, and all the color palettes were chosen with different degrees of colorblindness in mind. No essential information is ever transmitted by color. In the park, the cursor movement speed can be adjusted. The drag and drop can be deactivated, as well as the animations, if they turn out to be annoying or distracting. The music and ambient sound volume, as well as the sound effect volume, can be adjusted independently. The game contains no 3D audio effect, and all important sound effects are dubbed with a visual onomatopoeia. Wednesdays requires no precision, nor speed, nor complex sequence of actions. It contains no flashing lights, no haptic feedbacks, and never requires to hold down a button.
Good.
The game is available on Steam, but also on itch.io for those who don't want to create an account, nor learn how to use the complicated Steam client.
I never hold the Steam client be complicated, but...
This is Heartspell,
you know,
Horizon Academy, the upcoming puzzle-based dating sim with heartwarming stories and 11 lovable characters.
Speaking of
accessibility
puzzle
is at the core of Heartspell and guides its writing and design. The branching narrative gives players choices at every turn, with romantic and friendship paths for every character.
You want something from me? Tell me what it is.
Wait, is it fully voiced?
The puzzles are challenging, but have no time pressure. And at any time, players can adjust the difficulty or remove the puzzles entirely.
I do love me some puzzle quack games, so they're fully
as
voiced.
possible, Heartspell offers dyslexia-friendly fonts and
Yay.
an option to increase font sizes.
Yay.
All 280,000 words of Heartspell's story are voiced by our cast of talented actors.
Cool.
Calm down. I know what a date is.
I'm in. You got me.
Awesome at dates. How hard can it be?
You got me with dyslexia font and voice
there are
acting.
plenty of fish in the sea, and no reason not to date all of them.
Heartspell also has more specific options like arachnophobia mode, and the team is always taking community suggestions for ways to make the game even more inviting.
Wow, you're amazing.
I guess there gotta be Vital somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Heartspell has a free demo with over 90 minutes of content to introduce its wondrous world and memorable characters. I hope I'll see you there.
Yeah, we need to put that on the list for
Here is Gales of Nayeli,
for demo day.
a narrative-driven strategy RPG from Blind Cocoa Studios.
Oh,
As
also
a colorblind developer,
Fire
we
Emblem.
believe that strategic depth shouldn't come at the cost of accessibility. As a result, Gales of Nayeli has been built from the ground up with lack of color vision in mind.
I gotta admit, there's always a
and is
lot more
jam-packed
games this
with
year that I'm
other
interested in,
accessibility
outside of
features
just like
and gameplay
you know,
modifiers
cool,
to help tailor the game
cool
to your
little
needs. For
accessibility
instance,
options.
there are options to receive more strategic advice from Daisy, the helpful fairy, or to make faction indicators more visible to differentiate your friends from enemies in the heat of battle. The effect hits can also be toned down to reduce eye strain during battle animations, and controls can be remapped to make the game fully playable with only a mouse, a keyboard, or controller if needed. Finally, if you're here to enjoy the story with a more relaxed play experience in mind, you can turn on Ideal Growth Mode, which will ensure your units always grow to their maximum potential. Gales of Nayeli is made by strategy RPG fans, and we want as many people as possible to enjoy it. If you liked what you saw, feel free to try out the demo available on Steam and wishlist the game so you don't miss the game's launch this summer.
I was gonna say, Lily Hill in what, like that, 20 days or
Hi
something?
there, my name is Arevia, and I'm a disabled and chronically ill content creator and accessibility advocate from Norway. And I'm also Laura's co-host on the podcast Control All Access. I'm born with a brain injury called cerebral palsy, and I also have arthritis, and due to that, I play games with my feet. Yes, you did hear right, I have a dual setup where I use both my hands and my feet to play games, and it makes it so that I can play a game without any pain. I have a burning passion for game accessibility, and when I saw a game that has added accessibility and are from my own home country was going to be on this show, I knew I needed to present them. So all the way from the land of Fjord and Fjell,
I do feel like the
give
feet,
you
like,
sunlight, like
like button panels would come in handy on something.
Hi.
I know Elgato have
Studio,
like
and
have
we
one
wanted
for
to
that.
give you guys an update on our game Sunlight. In addition to the existing subtitles, we've added audio description to the game, making it accessible for more people so they can enjoy this philosophical hike through a beautiful forest. Here's how it plays out.
Audio.
Controls. Accessibility. Subtitles. Off. On. Text size large. I'm ready.
The sunbeam shines brighter on the leaf. The leaf stem starts growing. New leaves and branches spring from it as it grows into a tall, lively tree in a lush forest.
Welcome. Are you sitting comfortably? Are you focused?
Oh god, we got an old British man waiting to us. Oh god.
Whatever's bothering you these days. I'm not here to test you. Please, relax.
Walk in the forest and listen for the sounds of flowers. Keyboard controls. Move forward with W, left with A, right with D, and backwards with S. Pick up and lay down flowers with space.
Okay, for a moment I thought we were gonna be like Myth, where like images. Kind of looked like we're gonna be images for a moment, but no, it's actual 3D.
Sunlight is a calm experience with no fail state, no rush, and no pressure to complete it. No matter where you go, you'll end up in the right place.
Follow this sound to find flowers. You are now standing by a flower. Press space to pick it up. You've picked up one flower.
This is obviously not a good bitweight game, but also, I feel like it wouldn't be that bad to be all.
A wave of gentle needles moving over my skin.
You are now standing by a flower. Press space to pick it up. You've picked up another flower. The sun sets. It's getting dark.
Yeah, it's definitely very audio driven.
At the outskirts of the forest, there are endless fields of cut tree trunks.
Like hot visual and it actually be kind of pulled out
to experience. Thank you for your attention.
Especially with the audio like adjusting depending.
You might have heard about Survival Climate Karen and thought the game was going to be intense and challenging.
God, the game's going to be everywhere, isn't
but
it?
the team has also put a lot of effort in to make sure people with different skill levels and abilities can enjoy the game. Here's what we've been working on. Karen is a climbing and alpinism game where you choose your own path and your own difficulty as you
we have only
overcome
seen
a
this game. Like,
you
this
need
is the only
to
game we have
balance
seen
your
on
stamina and your
multiple
position
times.
on the rock face to climb higher.
That might be a good year
there
for
are no
indies.
predetermined routes up the mountain, meaning you can choose the one that is right for
Yeah,
you.
we might not
Just
see
be
the
sure to
same,
take
like,
care of
9
yourself with
games
food
over
and
and over
water
and
so the
over.
mountain doesn't claim another victim. We think our newest accessibility option is going to be especially impactful: the rewind. This mechanic allows you to undo any action in the game. You can even see your stamina usage on the rewind bar. After a fall, hit the rewind button and you can go right back to where you want to be. And then you can keep climbing. Not only can you use rewind to take back a mistake, you can also use it to explore and experiment to make your climbing journey in Cairn yours.
I will fall so much with it being a platformer.
Cairn also features
not
fully
platform, but,
rewindable
you know.
controls,
Hey,
so you
look,
can
I guess
make
it
your
would be a
climb
platform
feel
with that
just
link.
right.
Also, I forgot, like, oh yeah, the
And
game
many
is
of the
very
difficulty
quad-like.
and accessibility settings can be
Cat link.
customized in the options. You can enable limb highlighting, or you can even disable quick reaction minigames like the piton drill.
I was honestly
Pulse
would want the
feedback
button
is also
off,
available,
is
so
what
you
I would
always
do.
know when you have a good grip. And of course, we have 3 difficulty options so you can pick the challenge that's right for you. You can play the demo right now on Steam and PlayStation 5.
I didn't know the console demo was out. I knew the PC demo was. It's been out for a while.
Flotilla is a steampunk bullet hell game where you fight your way through waves of enemies
giant
like
bitch.
robot wasps, cultists,
The
and
double
dragons.
auto shooter.
I've taken care to make the game as accessible as possible in a variety of ways. The game is equally playable with keyboard, mouse, and controller. With the keyboard, you can switch between tank controls and directional controls
lot
from
of
most
settings.
ships, and of course, the controls are remappable. If you prefer to play with the mouse, activate Ship Follows Cursor. Finally, you can use either stick or the D-pad or your controller to control the ship.
Good.
Visually, it's of course
Give
fun
me
with
all the
lots
dual
of
stick
particles
shooters.
and explosions and so on, but it can also be overwhelming or make important information hard to see. So there's detailed visual settings. You can toggle particles, animations, explosion flashes, damage numbers, and screen shake. You can adjust the visibility of the background to be muted or pure dark gray. And there's a
Dude, that
color
will probably come in
highlighting
handy
mode,
depending on the
which
level.
turns enemies and enemy shops bright red and pickups either blue or green while muting all other colors.
Okay, I do like
Finally,
that one.
there are two gameplay options worth mentioning. You can turn off permadeath and you can freely adjust the game's speed. I hope that with these options, you can customize the game for your maximum enjoyment. Check out the game on Steam, and if you have any suggestions for my accessibility controls, let me know.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Danny Brennan, also known as Dannyline online. My pronouns are they them, and I'm a white person lying in bed, wearing a purple top, hat and glasses, surrounded by penguins.
Wait, that a top
Being
hat? That doesn't
chronically
look
ill
like
isn't
top hat.
fun, but when I'm well enough, gaming is the best distraction from symptoms such as pain, and it gives me something to talk about with others, making me less isolated despite living mostly in bed. My hands don't always work all that well, so being able to use different control schemes is really important. On bad hand days, the only way I can play games is with a touchscreen, which is why I'm thrilled to be able to introduce this next game, which amongst other accessibility options supports touch input, as well as keyboard, mouse and controllers.
Rollick and Roll is a casual puzzle experience inspired by classic Marble Run playsets. By controlling the level itself, you'll help to guide colourful toy
My brain
vehicles
always
to their
liked this
goal.
chant.
Each button press
I
will
love these
maneuver
toys when I
a
was
set
younger.
of
When I went to
corresponding
hospitals and
obstacles.
doctors, these were like my favorite
These
toys.
obstacles are distinguished by their contrasting colours and unique shapes. If your vehicle falls off the track, a countdown will alert you to an automatic restart. As you complete each challenge, you'll be rewarded with new vehicles as well as the opportunity to compete at a harder difficulty.
Oh god, we got
More
speed warning
vehicles
stuff.
means more mayhem. However, there are always opportunities to pause and plan your next move. The game's fixed viewpoint maximizes comfort for all players, and the flipbook interface
You know,
helps to maintain visual
depending on what this
continuity.
is, I feel like they will, like the Gundam
Convenient
Time
audio-visual
situation,
cues
you know,
ensure that
of type
literacy
of
is
puzzle
not
game.
a requirement to play, although you'll find support for over a dozen languages. Players can rebind keyboard commands to their satisfaction, or choose to operate a gamepad with a single hand. Colour configuration is also available for players to set their own palette. Rollick and Roll is still under development, but please try out the demo on Steam and tell your friends.
Yeah, but they
In
want now.
Trash
I got like
Goblin,
3 or
you
4
play
games
as a
out of this
cute
so
little
far. I'm
goblin
interested
running
in
a
it.
cute little shop. You dig the dirt off trinkets,
Oh my god,
clean them
god,
up,
it's horrible
and
again.
then sell them to customers.
Not a lot.
Maybe you upcycle them, maybe you make a tidy profit, maybe you invest that gold into your shop, customizing it, expanding it, and trying out new and better tools. And we, the goblins developing it, have been trying out new and better ways to ensure that as many of you as possible can enjoy it. For example, during cleaning play, we've added a dirt highlighter, which helps you find that last little bit of grime, and we chose to colour it blue to accommodate as much of the range of colour vision deficiency as possible. Plus, now we highlight a trinket's edge when the sponge is hovering over it, for extra confidence. The player can navigate their shop with the arrow keys, whilst controlling camera movement speed, and being able to toggle the camera edge movement on or off. You can now also rotate trinkets with the WASD keys, whilst choosing the object rotation speed that suits you best. We added a quest
feel like
tracker
they're gonna depend
to
on the
ensure you
puzzle, to
always
be
know
honest.
what to do to meet your customers' needs, even after a break from the game. It allows you to find what you need with a simple click of an icon. Plus, it enables you to recall important customers, so you can take your time. And there's the Trinkepedia, handily tracking every trinket you've found, cleaned, upcycled, and sold. Of course, that's on top of everything we showed in last year's accessibility video. There are intentionally no fail states, time pressures, or skill gates. In response to player feedback, we allow players to choose several control modes for cleaning and chipping. All core interactions are achievable with just the mouse, whilst the keyboard can be used for navigation as well. We chose a sans serif font, and we allow you to control the size and speed it displays at. In
Can I
fact,
change
we recently got nominated for our work on this,
like,
which is of
stick
course
mounts?
very rewarding, but we're excited to work with our community to learn and to implement even more accessibility features into the game. Trash Goblin is out now on Steam.
This fast-paced first-person retro shooter is Blow Up, Avenge Humanity, a game developed by Half-Sunk Games.
Of course, we gotta have a boom
The
up
team
shooter
at
here.
Half-Sunk Games provides a series of accessibility features.
We need Cozy, we need Farm, we need boom ups. That's what we need here.
See these enemies? No? We'll increase the outline thickness and even change its color.
Dude, that
now,
night.
You won't miss them.
God, there was
If
so
it's
many
not
games
enough,
that could
turn
use
on
that.
the desaturated background
Holy hell.
and highlight important options to help you see even clearer. This is an extremely frantic game, packed with lots of action and fast movements, which is why it also has accessibility options for UI and screen effects. Try reducing the opacity of the HUD, or changing the crosshair, deactivate some more effects and customize the screen to your liking. Last but not least, it's also possible for players to regulate the amount of screen shake they will experience, as well as reducing or increasing their field of view. This way, people prone to dizziness in first-person games can have an easier time playing, although we're still working on finding new ways to make the game accessible to all players. If you liked it, please consider wishlisting the game on Steam, join our Discord server, and stay tuned to the Half-Sunk Games and
the
Blow
bit
Up
wait
socials
on the stream
so
and
you
not the
don't
bit. And then
miss
again,
a
I feel
single
like that
thing
just
about
every
Blow
one of these
and
streams,
French
doesn't it?
humanity.
I'm Zyander Street. I'm a white non-binary person in their mid-30s with a bright green mullet, and I'm wearing a blue hoodie that says Assigned Earth at Birth on it with Intropology.com in tiny letters. My project is called Intropology. It's a narrative-driven queer indie game that's performed live by real actors online. I'm showing you some footage now of different moments in the live performance with actors in webcam views on the left-hand side and an interaction panel on the right which has things like voting options and text entry boxes. Here, the view of the actors is overlaid with a live coding environment with bits of text code and swirling
similar to that one Silent
neon
Hill game,
shapes
right?
that are being procedurally generated.
I'm doing like
The show
Twitch,
is all
like
about
Twitch
alien
mental stuff.
anthropologists in a multiverse that faces a cataclysmic breakdown in the nature of reality. Our next performance is on the 15th of June, and you can register to see it at intropology.com/tickets. The audience collectively shapes the story through a web app that looks like the main character's janky computer desktop. For example, in this footage, there's a purple taskbar at the top of the screen, and it looks like the actor's webcam view is in a video call program. The UI is all really simple, as if you're using a minimalist version of Linux.
If they're
that you
doing
might
it like
see on a
live,
Raspberry
I'd be
Pi.
interested in
Our
it.
interaction mechanics are a bit like
I
other
imagine it's gotta be
narrative-driven
pre-recorded,
indie
right?
video games. The audience votes for what the main character will say and do. And sometimes they get to write things in that they will say in a stream of consciousness.
Okay, never
rant.
mind.
Combining games and theatre in this way allows us to bring interactive theatre to people who experience barriers to in-person venues.
God, that
due to
is-
disability, chronic
That'd be
illness,
kind of
or
like
regional
insane, especially for the
inequality. All of our
actor doing
shows
this
have
stuff
integrated
live, especially knowing how
captions,
Twitch
ESL
chat can be.
interpretation, and keyboard-compatible interaction.
How do I look? Oh god, my skin looks so pale in this black wig.
Some audio description is integrated into the script, and we're working on expanding our audio description to include everything that's on screen in a way that reflects the different worlds that our characters inhabit.
The interface you have accessed resembles a dressing table made of holly, inlaid
I
with
gotta say,
decorative
like, yeah.
veneers of ebony.
The like in general,
We've
like
designed
the
experience to be
lopping like
compatible with many
plays
of the
are
access
always like
accommodations
neat.
people use for browsing the internet, such as screen readers. But this isn't fully tested, and audio from the screen reader might clash with audio from the performance sometimes. There is also a potential photosensitivity risk in some aspects of our show. Intropology aims to tell stories about how worlds become smaller and more fragmented, how we can reconnect, and how we can build better worlds together. If that sounds exciting to you, please register for our next performance on the 15th of June. You can register at intropology.com/tickets.
Alright, so 9 days from now.
Hello everyone, I am Sightless Combat and I'm very pleased to be back for another edition of the Accessibility Summer Showcase. Thank you so much to the organisers for having me on board for this. It's always great to be able to talk about cool, new, fun and interesting and of course, most importantly, accessible games. Now for those that don't know me, I'm an award-winning multi-credited accessibility consultant and gamer without sight, having never had any sight whatsoever, from the UK, and also accessible gaming officer for RNIB, that is Royal National Institute of Blind People, the UK-based sight loss charity. By way of a description, I'm a white man with light facial hair wearing a cap with my logo on it, a pair of crossed swords intersecting an eye, and in my background is a large amount of gaming memorabilia that I've accumulated over the years as part of what my community has called the Wall of Stuff. Now, as to the game I'm going to introduce to you today, if you're not familiar with it, it's actually one that I've played before in a demo form, and it's from a genre that is kind of accessible by accident or by trial and error, depending on who you ask, and that is rhythm games. Yes, I get to talk about an accessible rhythm game, and I played the demo, I think it was last year, and was very, very pleased and impressed. And I've been keeping an eye on it ever since, and the developers have continued to make updates even to the demo build, and added audio description and a bunch of other interesting, cool accessibility settings like remappable controls, which is great to see. But I'm not going to try and spoil anything other than saying that if you're a fan of Rhythm Heaven and minigames and interesting challenges, then I think this game will probably be for you. But without further ado, I haven't even told you the name of the game yet, so I'm going to introduce to you, from the wonderful folks at Tempo Lab Games, this is Bits and Bops.
Bits and Bops is a collection of original rhythm minigames.
Hey, demo available, chat.
Filled with catchy music, snappy gameplay, and gorgeous hand-drawn animation, Bits and Bops is sure to brighten your day.
Internet?
Bits and Bops is designed to be completely playable without sighted
Find the
assistance.
bit where you went the
game
shit.
supports text-to-speech narration
What the?
with additional narration.
No, don't go to 144p. What the hell?
To be completely playable without sighted assistance.
Don't have me want to stream just on the 144. I'm sorry,
with additional narration available
don't know
to
why that
describe
happened.
visual elements, helping to provide context to each
I
minigame.
did my internet just like decided to just slowly die on me for a moment.
Scene, a sparkling blue ocean under a pale blue sky. In the bottom left corner of the frame, an orange cat wearing red shorts and holding a camera stands on the deck of a small boat. The boat bobs gently up and down in the water. Ah, the open ocean. This seal loves to bop the beach ball. Tap space to snap a photo. Next, bubbles appear in the water, then a purple seal emerges with a splash. A multicolored beach ball descends from the top of the frame.
Oh, so that's describing the actual minigame.
Sometimes he likes to juggle the ball. What a show-off. When you hear the bell, get ready to snap 3 photos in a row. Watch the ball for the timing. Next, a ship's bell sounds and the cat whips his head left and right. The seal emerges from the water and bounces the ball twice, then bops it back into the air on the 3rd hit.
You know, I feel like descriptions of this. I can see how they could come in handy for it.
Now get out there and snap some photos.
You know, for blindness on this.
Bits and Bops features more than 20 rhythm minigames.
I wonder
each with
you
simple
can turn off the
controls.
description. Yeah, I imagine you would, right?
The game's
if you're not
catchy,
blind.
upbeat original tunes are sure to have you bopping along, while beautiful hand-drawn 2D art helps bring everything to life.
An instruction manual sits slightly askew on a wooden table. The camera zooms in to make the top 2 boxes fill the frame. The blocks move smoothly from box 1 to box 2.
But man, this is just straight up wisdom heaven.
The window blind is down and the room is dim. The blind
I think that was
lifts to
a
reveal a blue
Pellison
wren
on
on the
that.
windowsill where the radio previously sat. The birds talk about their home lives. The wren raises a family and the canary eats chips.
God, yeah, the music is great. It's gonna be catchy as fuck. Well, you know, sometime when inspiration literally had your whole sleeve, it's not a bad thing. And I think this is one of them
And
cases.
with their custom game engine, you can rely on lightning-fast response times as you bop along to the beat. Bits and Bops, releasing soon. Hello everyone, Laura K. Buzz here, quickly popping in one last time. This year's Accessibility Summer Showcase is nearly over, with just one trailer left before we draw to a close. I want to very quickly
Dude, I
thank
feel like this has been a
everyone
good
whose
year
work
for
allowed
that.
this
There's a
year's
lot of good stuff in there.
Accessibility Summer Showcase to take place. A huge thank you to my wife and editor, Jane, who works incredibly hard to make sure this event every year is as polished as possible. A huge thanks to Brad Galloway, whose work on providing American Sign Language for the showcase every summer has been invaluable. A huge thank you to Sightless Combat, who has narrated the audio-described version of the Summer Showcase for the past 2 years. Thank you so much to every disabled gamer who took time to share their stories in this year's showcase, and every game developer who trusted me to showcase their games this year. And a massive thank you to Many Cat Studios, whose support sponsoring the show this year was instrumental in helping to ensure that our British Sign Language interpreted version of the showcase could go ahead with minimal stress. Currently, the plan is for us to return in December with the first Accessibility Winter Showcase.
Hey, nice.
We had plans to launch
Something
the
to
Winter
add for,
Showcase
like,
in
the Game Award,
2024,
time period.
but due to some unexpected hurdles had to push back the event's debut.
Aww.
If you want to see more accessible game trailers, tune in Thursday, December 11th, 2025.
Hey, good, we got
At
dates.
4 PM UK, 11 AM Eastern, and 8 AM Pacific.
So same as today,
This
10
first
a.m. my
winter
time.
showcase will be a test run for making the showcase run twice annually. So tune in if you'd like to see the showcase regularly published every winter going forward. With that said, thank you all so much for tuning in to another Accessibility Summer Showcase. I hope you enjoy our last trailer, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
This is Coming Home, a retro-slasher horror game with a focus
gonna
on
say
home
this kinda
defense.
Five Nights at
In the
Freddy
dead
already.
of night, you hear someone lurking outside, but you are not defenseless.
Oh, it is
Watch
Five
the
Nights at
cameras,
Freddy.
barricade your doors, and have your gun at the ready. Our game is inspired by retro-slasher classics, but our approach to accessibility is emphatically modern. The game supports directional closed
they're gonna
captions.
hold myself
Not
thinking
only
about,
are all
like,
sound
yeah.
effects accompanied by closed captioning,
Five Nights at Freddy
but the
did come
game
out,
can
like,
position
what?
captions where the sound came from. High contrast mode
2014 or
can
some
render
shit.
the sundown rippers and any interactable elements with brighter, more
Fucking
distinct colors to
teenager
help
right now that
distinguish
wasn't
them
born
from
when
the
Five
environment.
Nights came out.
Collectible documents have clean text transcripts to help with readability, as well as visual descriptions. The game also features screen reader support for these transcripts,
Dude, nice.
as well as all UI elements. While the default control scheme uses
Yay,
a
I
keyboard and
wanna have to
mouse,
read the
you can
document.
play the game with only one or the other. Controller support is also implemented. Any mechanics requiring holding an input can be changed to a toggle. Coming Home is presented as an authentic 80s slasher film. The CRT and VHS
Okay, you
effects
had me
can
at,
be toned
you
down
had me
or
at
even
80
disabled to
slash
enhance
or-
readability.
Oh yeah,
Coming
fucking
Home
disable that shit
categorizes
so
all
fast.
sound effects and allows you to tweak their volumes by category. You can increase the volume of conspicuous sounds revealing the Ripper's positions, but decrease the volume of sound effects that can trigger misophonia. A persistent crosshair can be enabled to help with motion sickness,
get audio
as
off
well
the
as an
night to have
aim
that come
cone to
out.
visualize the range of the revolver. We're dead set on making sure anyone
Oh,
can play
so
Coming
we actually
Home,
got some
no
legit
matter what
combat
their
in this.
preferences are. The Sundown Rippers don't discriminate, and they aren't picky. When it's sundown, no one is safe.
Yeah, I need to show that to Sam. That might be something Sam might be into. I can see why this is the finale here. Because I kind of feel like this is like,
Wishlist Coming
you know,
Home now on Steam.
like going beyond, you know, just accessibility indie stuff. Also the black void of nothingness. I was expecting at least a little bit of music, maybe a Black Queen of the Consoles, but nope, I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, dude, I would say honestly, this shield will probably be the best shield for this. Yep, I just straight into it, but then again, I guess it was just a YouTube video as you know, as a premiere. But let's see, chat. Let's see about the theme page for this. Cause like, let me see. What was it? Oh, there it is. Live now. Here we go. Will we, yeah, show me the stuff for this. But yeah, honestly, there's like a handful of stuff in this that actually really neat. Cause, let's see, like Witlit, the paint game, so I remember the show Sam. And like Bits and Bop, we will also Witlit that, cause like I said, that really isn't Wisdom Heaven. They are not wrong on that. The puzzle game is like, I need to look up the fourth puzzle game here, cause it's like, This seemed like very much scratching at Power Paint portal stuff. Yeah, we will try it. We will try out the Fire Emblem game. So, where is the other stuff? Yeah, this is the car one, which, you know, we will absolutely add to the list. So, the Pokemon, I need to know, like, Coon need to look at the Pokemon game. I think they'd be up Coon alley. But, yes, add you. Where was that? There you are. Yeah, available. Yeah, just say, wait, do we, hang on, I'm gonna find that open a new tab. We're gonna figure this out. Like, do we have, like, a proper release date? Nope, they're just saying 2025. So yeah, we will let you, because you had me at Puzzle Quest and voice acting. So yeah. I would, hey, you know, that one game about trying to keep your job as an NPC at only $3 right now. What, $5 on average? Yeah, it came out in 2023. Man, talk about that one just flying under the radar. But yeah, we got what, like a good, like, 4 games out of this? Yeah, that is fantastic. Good job on the showcase this year. Like, there was actually a lot of decent stuff here. But yeah, with that though, I think that will do it for accessibility. Happy I was able to get up for this. I actually woke up. I was planning on, like, it might have been one of them, like, VOD streams, but, you know, we woke up at 9 a.m. I'm still not fully awake. I'm getting there, as you can tell by the allergy sniffles here. But, nonetheless, for the rest of Zombie E3, we got a couple things happening today, champ. How you doing, Mason? No, this is not a VOD. I'm live. I'm like live right now, because E3 is happening that morning. So, accessibility is done, but how are you doing, Mason? How you doing, bright and early? But yeah, these like super early streams. I said I would cover live if I'm awake. If not, we were gonna do them VOD, but you know, I'm up. So wait, how did you get locked out of the server? What the fuck? How did that happen? Did you get stuck in like a queue? Not my fault. I didn't pick it. I literally just went with the recommended. Like when I made my character, when it popped up, and they were like, "You're a server." I'm like, "Oh, okay, 30 ping, fine, join." Can't be that bad if they recommending it. I wonder if you got stuck in if it because it was what? I think we stopped streaming at like 2 a.m. that morning. So I wonder if you got hit by like all the Europeans hopping on. Cause isn't like 2 a.m. It's like what that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, like 8 a.m. at, you know, Funcom and, you know, European. So I wonder if that what happened. It's like you got hit at like the peak of server, you know, being clogged. You know, at least for the moment. But yeah, I just picked whatever server they recommended to me. So, which I imagine probably was just a central server. That'd be my guess, since, you know, I'm central. But yeah, I didn't go out of my way to pick one. I do it like whatever. You want me on that one? The ping get low, sure. But yeah, we'll probably be hopping back into Doom in a few minutes. Because I think Sam, I have some stuff to do today, but I think Sam said she's going to bed, or trying to go back to bed. So, but I will probably verify that because I hear we're watching TikToks. But nonetheless, for E3 this year, we got at 4 p.m. we're back for E3, or back to E3, I should say. Back to E3 stuff at 4 p.m. Because today going to be a good day, chat. We got Summer Game Fest, which is, let's be honest, probably what the biggest showcase net to the F-Bot event, technically. So that will be happening at 4 p.m. my time, Day of the Devs. I keep wanting to say Day of the Dead. Like, goddamn you know, shameful. But Day of the Dev will be right after.
The server was full last night, Troy's how. They did a 2-hour maintenance and boom, server was open when I woke up this morning.
Hey, okay. I get that upside. We can just like, you know, we sleep during maintenance. Maybe this is a good thing about being a Funcom being a European studio. That means that maintenance might only happens at like 5 a.m., which might be great. But it up right now, right? Hopefully it up right now. Hopefully it's not down. So yeah. Either way, 4 p.m. chat. So like I said, I'm probably gonna take a little break here. I'm gonna get stuff with Doble, figure out what's happening with Sam, and then we will go from there.
The whole world of where your character was locked, and yes, it's up right now.
Good, fantastic. Because I'll probably be jumping in a second. But yeah, we'll probably do Doom to 4 p.m. without something changed with Sam. So I'm gonna figure that out real quick, and yeah. If you're only here for a zombie E3 you're watching on YouTube, make sure to do thumbs up, subscribe, hit bell, do the follow stuff. We'll be back to zombie E3 at 4 p.m. So I will probably switch over about 30 minutes till, just in case they have a pre-show, because they usually have a pre-show for these things. So we will probably switch over around 3:30, and we will get into that. But for now, that's it for E3. And for you guys watching live, if you are watching on YouTube, stream will go down because I gotta get up the Doom one or the Doom stream information. But if you're here on Twitch, don't go anywhere. I will be right back in probably like 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere, chat.
The whole world of where your character was locked, and yes, it's up right now.
Okay, thank you for the double repeat bot. I appreciate it. Anyway, I will be back. Oh God, I'll be back in a moment, chat. Don't go anywhere.